morning, everybody. It is my privilege to lead a unit whose function is to return to the rightful owners their priceless cultural heritage, whether it be antiquities, works of art, or rare books. Our mission is, without fear or favor, to correct history's wrongs whenever those wrongs violate New York's criminal law. And this case is a perfect example of why it exists here in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Because of the tireless efforts of an extraordinarily talented and dedicated team, all here today, Jacqueline Studley, Hilary Chassé, Investigator Lou Capilupo, J.P. Labat, and Ethan Ellsworth, what in other cities and other times would have become just another closed case in the dustbin of history, today results in the return of irreplaceable pieces of literary history to their owners. And that is because here in New York, the art capital of the world, I'm going to say that again, the art capital of the world, this district attorney wants everyone to know, whether you are a lifetime resident, a tourist, a collector, or just a random buyer, that if you walk into one of our world-class museums, or renowned art galleries, or global auction houses, you get to say that which you cannot say anywhere else in the world. This is New York, and that work of art, that antiquity, that rare book must be legal. And now, the man who makes all that possible, my boss, District Attorney of New York County, Alvin Bragg, Jr.
He said it all. I don't know if there's much more to say. I want to first give my great thanks to ADA Bogdanos, who's pioneered this work. He named the team, extraordinary team, work that is now dating back almost 20 years, and really, I think, befitting the great tradition of this office. And I can't help but to repeat it. We're the capital. We're the capital.
Sure we are.
You know I love Manhattan. If you spent any time here, whether it's our nightlife, whether it's a Broadway show, whether it's a museum or a gallery, we are the capital in so many ways. And we have to also be the capital, as ADA Bogdanos said, in authenticity. And what happened here, this type of legal activity shouldn't happen anywhere, and we're not going to let it happen in Manhattan. And so, as you can see, incredible rare books on display that were stolen from the Whitney family. While the family reported these works missing in 1989, they had not reappeared on the market until quite recently in 2025, right here in Manhattan, when an individual attempted to sell them. Once we were made aware, we executed search warrants, seized them, and successfully petitioned a court in New York Supreme, returned them where they rightfully belong, and that is the Whitney family. And we are honored to have the grandson of John and Betsey Whitney, and we'll hear from him shortly, Peter DiBonaventura, and it's really great to have him here today, making this even more important and special day. I want to thank those two book dealers because they did the right thing, something we talk about a lot here at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. B&B Rare Books and Adam Weinberger Rare Books. They alerted the authorities when they thought these books might be stolen, and without that we might not be here today. Every institution in Manhattan and beyond should follow their lead. Manhattan is a more vibrant place when our museums, galleries, all that store these priceless works follow the law and do the right thing. I want to commend, you'll hear more from the family in a moment, them. Their plan is to auction these books and donate the proceeds, and I think that makes the day even more special. So with that, let's now hear from the grandson of John and Betsey Whitney.
Hi, everyone. District Attorney Bragg, thank you so much. This is a surprise to our family. Colonel Bogdanos and your team, the Antiquities Trafficking Unit. Hillary, just met you now. It's a wonderful thing that you've been able to recover these books that were in my family going back to my great-grandparents. So it's wonderful that this unit exists to be able to recover these gems. So I thank you. Thank you everyone on this team, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
We'll do a brief explanation of some of the books here from Idiot by Donuts.
All right, so stand by to be wowed. For in the middle are letters written by John Keats to Fanny Braun. There are 37 love letters altogether written by the famed poet John Keats. Everyone read Ode on a Grecian Urn in high school, I hope, including 8 handwritten letters, one of which is the first letter he ever wrote to her. After Keats' death from tuberculosis at the age of 25 in 1821, Fanny married, but she kept the letters, leaving them to her children in 1865. The letters were compiled and published in 1978 by the children and then sold at auction a few years later for £543. The sale of these letters inspired the poet Oscar Wilde to write a sonnet titled On the Sale by Auction of Keats' Love Letters. And there is a 2009 film, Bright Star, that I recommend, capturing the romance between Keats and Fanny Braun. Second book, De Profundis by Oscar Wilde, also captures a tragic love story, but a different one. It's the love story between Oscar Wilde and Lord Alfred Douglas. It was written by Oscar Wilde while he was in Reading jail after his 1895 conviction for gross indecency for his relationship to Lord Douglas. It's written as a letter because prisoners were not allowed to write novels or essays of any kind. And they were allowed to write letters, and the regulations didn't specify how many maximum words. So this 50,000 word letter, it's typical Oscar Wilde, was later published after his death, and it was given the title De Profundis, from the depths, from Psalm 130. It was actually not titled by Oscar Wilde, but his literary executor. And this particular copy that you see before you, before it was owned by the Hay and then the Whitney family, was actually previously owned by John Stetson, the son of the man who invented the iconic Stetson cowboy hat. But no mention of Oscar Wilde is complete without mentioning his whirlwind U.S. tour. In 1882, he visited the United States and delivered 141 different lectures in that year. Of course, this being New York. His first lecture was here in New York City, and he arrived here in New York City. At the port of entry, New York Customs, he was asked by a customs officer whether he had anything to declare. And he said, please stop me if you know this, I have nothing to declare except my genius. Another book you will see before you is the Empress Josephine's copy of the 1812 Imperial Almanac. Empress Josephine married to Napoleon. Following their 1810 annulment of their marriage, all her books, the former Empress Josephine's books, were marked with the embossed with the letter J over a crown to continue to reflect her continued royal status. Another book you'll see before you is Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. It is signed by the author, and it was first published in 1939. This particular book is number 126 of 425 in that first limited edition. It was the last work that James Joyce published before his 1941 death. And then finally, Household Stories by the Brothers Grimm. This book represented a significant New English translation of the works that included Rumpelstiltskin, Hansel and Gretel. The translation was by Lucy Crane, and it was largely responsible for the renewed interest in the United States of what became known as the Grimm's fairy tales.